We are here live. Hello, hello. We're bringing you greetings from Roar University, from Infinity Bridges. It is the Roar Reverse Coaching Session. I am not alone. I am here
No.
with my special guest. I call her LBG. Okay. Oh, here we go. Oh, let's see what we have.
Uh-uh.
We got another guest coming on to the show. Hold on, stand by.
All
Please
right.
stand by.
Stand by. There you
I am
go.
here. I have arrived.
Look at that.
He's the party starter.
That's right.
I know. I know. What's going on, ladies? How you doing?
We are
Good.
doing
How are you
great.
doing?
So
That's
listen,
good.
before you came on, we were just talking about okay, 7 o'clock, and you know how all of us operate, right? Like, oh, 7 o'clock, we might be tired, but I promise you, I've been looking forward to this all day long. Okay, to have this conversation. So, welcome, Terrence. We're gonna do some introductions. What I want to do real quick is to make sure that you can all see this, and you, Latasha and Terrence, can share it on your platforms. We should be on Facebook, and we are also streaming to YouTube. Right now, we have one person watching, but we hope to have some other people joining us because we want to talk about the reverse coaching. So I am
Yes.
Dion DG McGee, affectionately known as DG McGee, I will say. And some people really don't even know my real name because they don't seen DG on Facebook for so long. But that's funny. It's okay though. But Chief Executive Officer of DG McGee Enterprises, and we are a full blown project management, program management firm, and we specialize in cohorts, incubators, and accelerators, and also speaking engagements and workshops around career development, entrepreneur development, and financial literacy. Those are our sweet spots. Those are some of the things that we're going to tap into tonight when we discuss reverse coaching. And just so you understand what reverse coaching is, sometimes people feel like that I don't have time to talk to a coach. I cannot afford to talk to a coach. Well, I'm telling you now, you can't afford not to. So, this is us giving back, and this is our way of asking and putting out the questions in the atmosphere that we are typically asked as pillars of the entrepreneurial community. So we have a list of questions. However, we want you to use the chat and ask some questions that you may have that we might not even tackle tonight. So this is our first session, our first series. So we say welcome, with a roaring welcome. And roar means to be relentless, optimistic, ambitious, and results driven. And we are glad and excited to have you all here tonight. So what I want to do now, I wanted to talk to Latasha Best Gaddy, LBG, better known as, right? That's what I call
Yes.
her. Right? So Latasha, you do your intro, then Terrence, our host and sponsor for tonight, Center for Home Ownership and Economic Development. He's gonna do his intro, and then we're gonna get ready and dive in.
All right. Thank you, Dion. I am so happy to be a part of this. And so, as you mentioned, my name is Latasha Best Gaddy. I am the owner and chief strategist of Infinity Bridges Incorporated, where we focus on bridging the wealth gap for business owners. So, we are looking to focus in on making sure your business has the capacity, access to the capital, and guess what? Access to all of the resources in order for you to grow, sustain, and thrive in this business economy. So I am excited to be here with you, excited to be part of Roy University, and excited to be a part of this reverse coaching tonight.
Yes, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I ain't
Terrence.
come behind that. Wow. Well, you should have had me go first, or
Right, right. LBG is not to be played with, okay?
Hey, I got to bring it. I got to bring it.
no. But I am Terrence Staten. I'm the Community Business Development Director for Center for Home Ownership and Economic Development. We are a North Carolina-based community development firm. One of our specialty is business development. And this is why we're sponsoring this reverse coaching session tonight, because our goal is to find solutions for some of these new modern day businesses. We know that with COVID, that many of you all have just stepped out on faith. We talk about the great resignation. We talk about you guys saying, you know what, I'm tired of doing corporate America. I want to do me. I want to realize my dreams, right? What we do understand too is that we got to make sure we properly prepared. So, Center for Home Ownership in partnership with DG McGee Enterprises, we want to make sure that we have a great platform where you can come to, which is called the E Lounge. It's called the Entrepreneurs Lounge, where we get together and we talk about relevant business principles that's going to help you start, develop, and grow. So, once again, my name is Terrence Staten. I'm with Center for Home Ownership and Economic Development.
Listen, we need to be live somewhere in a room, but we're going to thank you for that, Terrence. I don't think they're ready for us tonight.
No, we get ready to bring the roar for real.
Right, right. I'm telling you, like this is the highlight of my day, like for real, for real. So first, I'm glad to see you all because I have been talking to you and I have not seen you. Just conversation, right? But no, I'm excited about it. Thank you. LBG from Infinity Bridges Center for Home Ownership and Economic Development Center. We thank you for your sponsorship and allowing us to have this session so we can talk to the people and talk to the masses, right? So, Terrence, we're going to turn it over to you because we know you have some things that you want to ask, and so that we can get it out to the people and we can help as you what you just said with business development, help change the mindset and some of the tips, tools, and strategies that we can provide to those that are tuning in tonight and will watch later.
Absolutely. I would be happy to just ask you guys some questions I've been getting all day. And I said, you know what? Let's reserve those questions for tonight
Right.
because we have two pillars that I'm going to be on this platform with that's got some answers, right? So I'm very eager to represent some of my students and helping them get in some of the wisdom keys they need so they can develop and grow.
Love it.
So, with that being said, ladies, the first question I have is what is bootstrapping? We hear that term quite often, right? So when I say bootstrapping, people's like, okay, what does that really mean? Is that pulling me up by the bootstraps? What exactly is that? So if you guys can sort of profound on that for me, or expound, I should say.
Look, and people hear that term and they automatically start laughing, but it's real, right, Latasha?
Oh yeah.
It is real, and simply put, bootstrapping really means kind of what you just said, Terrence. That is where you sow seeds into your own business. You invest in your own business, but a lot of times people don't understand what it takes to bootstrap, right? And what it takes to bootstrap means living below your means personally so that you can therefore invest in your own business. Okay, I'm not gonna steal LBG's thunder and get into that funding piece, but we'll talk about some of that because a lot of us are not able to get the funding that we would like to attain in order to start our businesses. So that means for our product-based businesses that sometimes that means that you might have to go purchase some supplies every pay period until you can, for a caterer, you might need to go buy, 4 or 5 chafing pans from Sam's or from the restaurant store and stockpile those until you can later do some other things. So you're purchasing things as you go along, but you are doing that from your own personal funds. So that's my response to bootstrapping.
Yeah, I would echo or ditto everything that she says. And then I would just even add, unfortunately, we typically, and I say we because most people don't have a trust fund. Most
Mm,
people do not have what they call that silver spoon, right? Someone there with that checkbook to say, "Oh, I want to start a business. Here's that 50,000 to start a business. Oh, I want to do that. Here's XYZ." So, bootstrapping is you taking all of your money, and most of the time some people are taking equity out of their home, some people are taking funding from their 401k. I even had someone say they took it from the kids college fund. So
mm,
wherever they're getting, it is their money that they're using to invest in themselves, and then guess what, they're using it with the intent that it's going to work. I mean, we have these ideas and dreams, so, and they're not for something that is like, oh, for a failure. So you've got to succeed because you've got it all on the line.
Right.
Um, so I think that's the other thing that we think about, bootstrapping is, we're not all, born with that trust fund or with that rich Aunt Betty or whomever to really write that check or to say, oh, you want to do this idea? Here's that check, and or give you a blank check. So
Right.
bootstrapping is really being able to use your own money. So you are the investor, you are the equity person for your business.
I
Very
tell
good.
you what, I think about your acronyms, Dion,
Hmm.
and the last two sticks out to me.
Hmm.
You gotta be ambitious,
You have to.
Hmm.
to do something like that and have the mental fortitude to carry it out, to be disciplined,
Mm.
because that also ties into the R, which is results driven.
There you go.
So it's like, dollars spent down to the cent must be accounted for.
Right. Right. And you just said something real quick when you talk about mindset. That's the first step to entrepreneurship. Like you have to have that roaring mentality, and you have to be crazy enough to bet on yourself, right? And I just spoke at a conference last week, Women's Business Center conference last Thursday, and I was posed a question, and part of my response was, if your job would bet on you to hire you as an employee, okay, why would you not bet on yourself to hire yourself to create an opportunity for yourself, right?
Oh, that's real, Dion. You
Come
started
on.
something
Look,
now.
come on
You
with
just
it. Come
started
on with
something.
I
it.
told you
Drop
they
the
not
mic on
ready.
that one.
They're not ready. If the other people will hire you, why will you
Hmm.
not hire yourself? And once you get a firm foundation, then
Hmm.
we hire other people, and that is how we stimulate the economy. Period.
Mm.
Right.
Period. I know I made
You
it
got to
sound
go
easy,
all
but
in.
it's real. Huh?
I said you got to. I mean, if you can't bet on yourself, then who else are you going to bet in?
Right. And not only that, who else is gonna bet on you if you're not
Right.
gonna bet on yourself?
Yeah. So you got to have the skin in the game.
Got to. It's a must. It's a must. You can't ask me to sow a seed or invest in your business if you're not willing to invest in your own business.
So we talk a lot, Latasha. You and I, we had this discussion about 3 weeks ago. And we had said what really happens from when you leave a corporation to starting your business, right? What is that one trait you gotta have that separates an idea from a business? Remember we had that conversation?
Yeah, so first of all, I mean, all of us have hobbies, right? So if you think about it, all of us have something that we're good at. And the question is, can that hobby make you money and sustain you?
Hmm.
And if it can't, keep it as a hobby, do it on weekends and give it away as Christmas, birthday, or whatever gifts. But if it can, and I mean, outside of once you get past the family and friends and what I call friendly people who just be like, oh, bless their heart, let me go in and just pay for this for the day. Once you get past that, then guess what? Then you've got a business. So you've got to be able to really not only, and so the one thing that I would say everybody needs to have is persistence. Like you've got to be driven and have that level of persistence that a no today may not mean a no tomorrow. So I
Mhm.
know that when I started or even got the concept, there was a lot of people like, oh no, just keep your day job, and so those were no's. But then years later, guess what? All of those no's turned into yeses and doors began to open. So, and that's only when it comes to persistence. So I think that's one of the, like, what is the one thing that you've got to be able to have is you've got to be able to be persistent, and you got to have tough skin. I mean, because you got to be able to hear no and be like, oh, okay, thank you. Have a great day. And then come back tomorrow and they be like, no, didn't I just tell her no? Yeah, but I figured it's a different day. I wore something different. I got a different angle. I'm gonna just keep coming back because you got to be able to, and it can't bother you when they say no. So persistence is my one thing that I think people has to have.
And Dion, she said something very profound. She said, "Look, if you're not losing any sleep, do you really have a business?"
Right. Take naps. Entrepreneurs take naps, like for real. Like
Yeah.
if your goal is to leave your job, right, to work less, then please stay where you are. Okay. I don't know
Yeah.
how many hours you're working, but this
Whew.
is constant. It is nonstop. Even when you think
Mhm.
you're done, you're not done because your brain will not turn off.
Mhm.
True or true? It's true.
Now that is true. I'm always thinking, like, did I send this report? Do I need to respond to him? Da, da, da. Yes,
Right.
it's like a robot. It's just keep going, just keep
Right.
going.
Right. And the thing about it is we take naps, but it's a different type of experience, right?
Hmm.
The difference in being an entrepreneur and being an employee is simply the what I call the freedom for us to move the way that we need to move, right? And a lot of people have started businesses because of families, right? I want to have more freedom and flexibility to spend time with my family. Now granted, I'm saying we take naps and we're working all the time, but somewhere an hour or two, we have gone to a baseball game, a basketball game, a doctor's appointment. That's the freedom and flexibility. So if I decide that
Hmm.
I'm gonna work till 8 o'clock, I probably went to do something earlier in the day with my family. Whereas if I was working, I wouldn't have been able to make those types of moves, right? So those are the things that come with entrepreneurship, and we take naps, but we must have boundaries. We
Oh,
we
I
must
love that one.
yeah, we must have boundaries. Like if I'm working a crazy day, I'm not working a crazy day every day. Like
Yeah.
that puts me back to where I came from, right? So
Right.
it has to make sense, and not only that, it has to make sense from a perspective of we have to set boundaries for those that are connected to us, clients, right? You can't be talking to clients at 8 o'clock at night. They can call and text you all times of day, all time. You will never get rest, right?
Yeah.
Therefore, you're of no value to them when it comes time to do some work because you don't work round the clock, right? So those are things, that we need to think about from the backside of entrepreneurship and the balance that goes along with it. But yeah, we take naps. We take naps.
Yeah, and I just want to add real quick to that too, that you've got to learn to delegate so you can elevate. Right? So
Absolutely.
you've got to be able to delegate small things and things that, are still going to keep things moving, but you got to delegate it so you can elevate the business. Because
Right.
remember, you are owning and operate the business. So you can't be the employee if you don't ever take some steps back to really think about, okay, wait a minute, where am I trying to go? What's my goals? Where, and being able to really not just always work in the business, but then work on the business and
Amen.
how to get it to grow and get to that next level.
Mhm.
That's good.
Yeah, that's real good. And I think it needs to be an assessment that tells you whether or not, you can be an entrepreneur or a
Mm-hmm.
business owner. Because a lot of times, we get all these ideas. Someone tell us that we can make money doing this, right? But
Mm-hmm.
we haven't done any research. We don't know if we're good at that,
Yeah.
right? We don't know if we have the mental capacity to perform in these type of businesses. So it needs to be, in my opinion, it needs to be an assessment that helps somebody who's considering getting into entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have the mental fortitude to carry a business out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's really key. I think there are some, probably some entrepreneurship assessments out there, but it really starts with the person. I mean, again, there's several books out here that will tell you the 10 best businesses to start to make X number of dollars. But I will tell you that if you don't have passion, if you don't have a purpose, if you don't really have kind of a, desire for that, then it's not going to work. So for me, I may can cook, but I wouldn't want to cook for 10,000 people every day. Like
Right.
that's just not my thing. And I don't have the love or desire for that. Now somebody else can be like, look, I'll cook all day every day and feed, 4 armies, but that's their passion. So it does have to align, because when it aligns, and again, I think also sometimes even when you are in a business, when you are working for someone else, you can also be what we call entrepreneurial. You can
Mm.
figure out ways to be creative and give your stamp on things and make it yours. So you don't always have to work for somebody, but you got to have a goal. And I think it was Dion who said at another event, I think I heard it, hopefully this is your quote, that even if you are the assistant, the secretary, the admin, always have a goal. So maybe you are the admin today, but then you may want to go to the office manager. And then once you get to the office manager, you may want to be the executive manager or the executive assistant. So no matter what you do, you need to always kind of have, I don't want to say a hustle, but you always want to have a goal
Right.
and an objective and reaching for something higher. I wouldn't want everybody to stay stagnant, And so that's the thing that I would think is that there's entrepreneurs who are, hey, I've created it, but then there's entrepreneurs where, hey, you know what? You may have the vision, but I help you implement it.
Right.
That's
That's good.
good. That's
That's true.
good. So,
Mhm.
we have somebody that say, well, you know what, DG, LBG, I just became a new business owner. I got my EIN number, I have my LLC set up, I have a tax ID. But what's next? I got past the first stage. I'm stuck. Where do I need to go from here?
Listen, I'm gonna say this again. Last week, I just met. I'm gonna call her Miss LLC, Secretary of State, Elaine Marshall. Right,
Mm.
great woman from a influence standpoint concerning economic development in the state of North Carolina. There are so many that have been forced into entrepreneurship because of the Great Resignation. Right, and I have an EIN, as you said. I have an EIN number. I have a LLC, or I'm a sole proprietor. I went to the Department of Revenue. Now I have my tax ID number. I'm ready. But what comes after that? So we can. There are so many that are saying that they have businesses, but they're not generating income. Not enough income to leave the job. And I'm not telling anyone to leave their job. Okay, you can be a dualpreneur. You can work and have a business, right? Because one of the most expensive things concerning entrepreneurship is insurance. So if it's a way that you can work, if your goal is to keep your job and get your feet wet, if you're bootstrapping, right, you want to make sure that you are generating income before you walk away from said opportunity, from said job, right? But what does that look like? So to your point, and you didn't even know this, to your point, as far as assessments, I'm gonna put it in the chat. We have entrepreneurial assessments on dgmcgee.com that you can download for those that have said, I don't have time for coaching. I don't know a coach. Well, that's not true because we got some on the screen right here tonight. So now you know us, right?
That's the best.
Right, we have the assessments and we also have the workbooks that will give you the tips, tools, and strategies that you can work through yourself for a very nominal fee. Because I understand that some people don't have the time, nor do they have the resources, but you can download a workbook that will walk you through some of what it is you need for growth and scalability. But what it looks like to have those documents, we have to build a business and generate income. So my question is to those that are watching that will watch later, whatever your business is from a service standpoint or a product standpoint, my question is whom needs your products or service? And I mean that from a B2C standpoint and a B2B standpoint. So business to consumer and business to business, right? If you have a service type business like Latasha and I, we know who our clients are, right? We don't have to really go searching for them, but we know what our services are and we know who needs our types of services. So we're always connecting, we're always networking, and we are in this economic development circle. There's an economic development organization in every city across the state. So it would not be hard. But a lot of times, what I am seeing is we doing 10 things Okay. And I'm going to say this real fast. We're doing 10 things because we want to be a gazillionaire overnight. Okay. I want you to stop doing the 10 things. I want you to do one thing. I want you to do the one thing well. And I want you to write 10 clients that need your products or services tonight. I would like for you to reach out to them tomorrow. Okay. And reaching out to them looks like an introductory email and scheduling a Zoom meeting. I call them coffee talks, roaring introductions, introduce your products or your services. That turns into clients. And as
Mhm.
Latasha said, just because it might be a no now does not mean it's a no later because they're going to remember you, right? First impression is everything. So, yeah, you got all the documentation, but we now need you to generate income. And where you generate it from is not from your family, it's not from your friends. They will support you, but we're talking about real sustainability when it comes to business. And it will not always be on social media. You're going to have to go target those clients that need what it is that you are providing.
Yeah, you can't be an armchair manager.
No.
No. And I think that's the key is you've got to implement your marketing strategy. So, in addition to writing those names, I'm gonna also tell you to brand yourself, use social media, being able to offer, so I call them teaser rates. So offer those, she said, what'd you say, coffee talks? So
Oh, yeah,
offer those 15-minute coffee talks or whatever you're doing and really be able to put yourself out there. You got to be vulnerable and transparent and you've got to just go where they are. So figuring out where your people are and your customers, and then go to them because at the end of the day, you got to generate revenue.
that's right.
All right. So you got to generate revenue. So once you get all of that together, then, I want you to focus on generating revenue. And that's really the key.
Somebody will say, well, you know what, Latasha, I hear that, right? We do need to generate some revenue, but I need to borrow some money. I need to figure out how to secure some funds. For those who don't know, anytime we're talking about lending products, right? Anytime I need some money, who do I call?
Mhm.
Latasha Bestgatti. So Latasha, if you will, educate us on how can we secure some funding.
All right. So first and foremost, you got to know how much you need. So you can't go after money if you don't know how much you need. And then second, in order to know how much you need to know what you're going to be using that money for. So I'm going to kind of give you a couple of ideas. So first of all, it can be inventory. So if you have a product-based business, it may be inventory. It may be equipment. And think about it, computers are equipment. So it can be equipment. It can be if you're depending on what you need, furniture, fixtures, those kind of things for office, all of those things. And then think about startup costs. So
Mhm.
all of your down payment, insurance, your marketing, your branding, all of that is kind of operating or working capital costs. So now let's determine how much you need. So if you need what we consider as micro funds, so less than $25,000, then we have what we call micro lenders that are out here, which are lenders that will lend based upon a smaller dollar amount. They're looking for the viability of the business to make a profit. So you got to be able to show that the business is going to make a profit. And then now, one of my favorite lending sources that people, so of course, you can always go to a bank or a financial institution and you choose one of whoever that fits your industry. But I bet you didn't know community development financial institutions or CDFIs are out here. These are nonprofit organizations that also are lenders. So they're a little hybrid or a little different than a traditional bank. So they're not going to have a teller, they're not going to have deposits and stuff like that. However, they are out here for small businesses and startup businesses. So again, community development financial institutions. The second thing is, which is out right now, if you are depending on if you're in the state of North Carolina, one of the programs that are out is Retool NC. if you are certified with the historically underutilized business office, then there are some limited grants. Now, I
Mhm.
said limited grants. So I don't want you to go out here and say, she said there's plenty of grants out here. No, limited grants for businesses. However, you must meet certain criteria. Okay. So I just want to kind of throw that out there. And then, and then the other thing to look at is crowdfunding. So there are several crowdfunding platforms that are out here where I call them my friendly people. So those are people that you may not necessarily know, but guess what? You have an idea or product or service or something that they want to invest in and they want to support. So, of course, there are, again, multiple different funding opportunities based upon the amount of money you're looking for, based upon what the money is going to be used for. And then again, there's money outside of just traditional lending. So, which are banks or community banks or credit unions that do business loans. There are community development financial institutions, crowdfunding platforms, and there are also some private equity investors. And so equity means that they do want some ownership of your business. So we want to just make sure it's clear. But there are a few, but it just depends on your industry sector. So you want to do your research and be prepared.
That's good.
Mhm.
That ties into my next point because Center for Home Ownership and Economic Development, the agency I represent, we are transitioning into becoming a CDFI.
Oh,
So,
good.
Good, very good.
2024, we will be working with Ms. Dion McGee and offering her audience the opportunity to get some micro lending
Yes.
done through our agency. So we're pretty excited about that movement that's taking
That is
place with
good.
us soon.
Yes. Yes.
So I just wanted to announce that.
Yeah. Look,
Yes, that's hot off the press.
right, fresh off the press. You have not heard it anywhere else. You heard it here tonight, right? So, Latasha, to your point, when we talk about the bootstrapping piece, which is how we started, right? A lot of people don't know about non-traditional lending, right?
Yes.
And even the angel investors, right? And when you say crowdfunding, you kind of think Shark Tankish, you know,
Yeah.
people, you gotta get that pitch. That pitch gotta be ice cold. Okay. The pitch has to be ice cold. But the thing about it is this is money that you can pay back and not have to stress about paying it back because the interest rates are not your typical
Hmm.
bank interest rates, right? The things in the red tape that you would have to typically go through. And people have said to me, you know what, my credit is not what I really would like for it to be. They take all of those things into consideration. Okay. They do.
Yes.
So I don't want anyone here to say, oh, I won't qualify. Guess what? You won't if you don't try. Right.
Right.
So if right now we just heard the Center for Home Ownership and Economic Development Center is becoming a CDFI. There,
Yes.
the Institute of National Economic Development in Durham is a CDFI. There are multiple
Yeah.
CDFIs across the entire country, right? But
Yes.
so those are some resources until the Center for Home Ownership is under that umbrella. But we want you to know that there are options, right? And even to that, resources. Like I need to hire staff, but I cannot afford to hire staff. Some of that money can be used towards that, even retool, what is it, 3.0, retool
Yep. Retool 3.0.
3.0, like to get a certification. This is another show for another night when we talk
Yeah.
about certifications. But I feel like this when we talk about historically underutilized businesses, we're part of a membership. It's a gym membership, right? And the
Hmm.
only people that get to come to the gym are the people that have the membership.
There you
Translation:
go.
the only people that can apply for these grants equals free money, that
Right.
you might have to pay back, are those that have the certification. So why not fill out the paperwork? If you got the LLC, the sole proprietorship, the tax ID, the EIN, it's part of the business, right?
Part of doing business.
It's part of doing business. So if you can get some seed money that is a grant to you to help push you and scale you to the next level, why not do it?
Yeah.
Why not do it?
Yeah, and don't be afraid. I mean, you cannot grow in fear. So I just want
Right.
to say that, like, you cannot grow your business. And, even if you've been in business a while and you did bootstrap, and now you're like, you know what, I'm just afraid. I just don't want loans. I mean, I hear people say that all the time. And I'm
Mhm.
like, but you're trying to grow.
Right.
This is
Right.
a great opportunity for you to be able to do that. So don't be afraid. Do your research and make sure you make the right decisions, but don't be afraid of loans. I've heard a lot of that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think if you have that mindset, you sort of stunt your growth when you talk about uh, I don't, the word don't left me that quick. Generational wealth,
Right.
building
Hmm.
a legacy, right? I mean, there's just some things you got to have in place. You got to have a mental strength about you. You got to be prepared, right? I think if you are more prepared, it would kind of counteract that fear
Mm.
because you understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, and you have a
Yeah.
purpose. And your short term leads up to your long term goal, which is generational wealth.
Oh
Long
yeah.
term legacy is what I was trying to say earlier, right? So I wanted to kind of harp on that a little bit because a couple years ago, before COVID took place, we had two government based business lending products, the PPP and the EDIL products. And unfortunately, many of our companies did not qualify. And it was disturbing because, many of these businesses had been in existence for 5, 10 years, but for some reason their P&Ls just wasn't tight enough. It wasn't presentable enough for them to take advantage of some of those federal government type loans. So, what I want to encourage many of our new businesses specifically, if you're representing these new generation of businesses, the Great Resignation, is that go into it with the mindset of, okay, well, am I prepared to be a business? What is it going to take for me to get prepared? And I don't mean just from a business point of view, the physical business. I mean
Hmm.
the elements behind the business, the logistics, the finances, making sure you understand what it takes financially to run a sustainable, successful business, right? And so we talk a lot about managing your money. Dion McGee, she's big on managing your money. I echo that because you say that a lot.
I told you I'm gonna get a T-shirt made.
I
Look,
love
look,
it.
Latasha, you know I gotta say it.
I know.
I'm gonna say it, so I gotta go ahead and say it. Let me get close to the mic. Can y'all hear me? Mic check 1. Listen.
Mike checkers is good.
Cash App is not financial business software. Okay. For the
Say
people,
that again. Say
for the,
that again. I
for the
don't
people,
think they heard you.
for the people in the back, Cash App is not financial business software. So to your question, why the applications didn't go through and them profit and loss statements were looking a little suspect, that is why. Okay. To why a lot of us could not get grants. Again, you cannot cash out, screenshot your cash app statement to your accountant to do your taxes and you qualify for the grants. I'm being funny, but it's the truth. It is
It
real.
is
It's,
true.
it's,
It's
it's
true.
so true.
So
It is.
there are a few things that I have seen. One is the cash out piece, right? QuickBooks is the world renowned, okay, if you will, software for accounting for a business, right? People have said, well, I don't understand QuickBooks. I don't know how to do QuickBooks. YouTube University. Everything we need to know is on YouTube to some extent, right? If that is not your thing, you hire an accountant once you get to that space, okay? But you're leaving money on the table by not
Mhm.
having your business in order, okay? Another piece of it is sometimes we just intimidated by paperwork. Let's talk about it. We just get intimidated, like, oh, that looks like a lot. I don't know if I have all of that, but we haven't even hit the next page to see what's next. And then
Mhm.
the other piece that we really have to talk about, if we're going to talk about the generational wealth gap, let's talk about the racial wealth gap that goes along with the generational wealth gap, because a lot of that money we did not receive because we didn't look right. I'm calling the thing a thing. Like I'm
Well, a
not
thing a thing.
I'm
That's it.
not
Speak the
sugarcoating
truth,
that.
man.
It's a real show. This is
Speak
the
the
real,
truth.
real rap, raw, roar session. We're talking for real. Let's talk about
See, we in church right now, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I want to add.
it. Add to
Look,
it.
let me tell you, when you talk about that racial wealth gap, I mean, you think about COVID. So there's a statistic that says 40% of African American businesses close as a result of COVID and all of the having to shut down and just could not keep up.
Right,
So there's also a mistrust factor. So
Mm.
some people do not trust government or government systems and programs. And so there are some things that you are going to have to get over and then get in an alignment. I mean, if you want to grow and get to the next level, you've got to be business about your business. Okay.
Mhm.
You've got to be business about your business. And that means you have to make business decisions about your business. Now, I want you to make sound business decisions and I want you to, make sure it aligns with who you are. I don't want you to do anything out of it, not of integrity and not of character, but
right,
you still have to be able to do business. And I think it is a shame that there were not a lot of people that did not qualify for the PPP or the item. The last thing that I think is important that we've got to realize, especially with the PPP, business is about relationships.
mm,
People do business with people they know, like, and trust. Okay. So the PP people who really were successful with the PPP had a business banker on speed dial. They were in their phone. They had
right,
a business banker to call and say, "Hey, I need to qualify," and got that link sent to them. So it is also about relationships and networking. And I think that sometimes we underestimate that. And we have to really make sure that when you're in business, you've got a network for your business.
right. That's a fact.
I mean, that's a good fact because in real estate, we also do home buyer education. And one of the things I often tell my students is have a team with you that helps you prepare for home ownership. Because
Mhm.
a lot of people think, well, I spend about 1,700 in rent every month. I ought to be able to afford a mortgage. It should be easy, right? Okay, it's possible, but do you really understand the intricate parts within home ownership and the difference between home ownership and leasing?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of moving parts with home ownership, and that's even before you get into the home.
Mhm.
Mm,
It's the home buying process
Oh yeah,
you
especially
have to
now.
navigate through.
right. It's real different now.
Yeah,
Definitely.
because I tell people, look, get you a banker on your team.
Mhm.
Start understanding mortgaging before you take out a mortgage. Understand what the APR rate is. Understand, the mortgage fees, the origination fees, the discount points, all the different things you're gonna have to pay at closing costs, down payment, right?
Right,
Appraisals, inspections, all these different things that many people who rent was not aware of. And so when they think they're ready to apply for a mortgage, 9 times out of 10, they're not ready or they don't qualify because here again, they only looked at it from one area, which is okay, well, if I can afford 1,700 worth of rent, then I
hmm,
should be able to qualify for a mortgage.
right.
So the same can apply when you're talking about your business, right? There's just some things about business, especially if you've never been in business, right?
Yeah,
You've
you're
always
so right.
worked. You've always worked for somebody else. You got these degrees. You got these. Dion can tell you about that. And if you guys did not purchase her book, I completely encourage you to buy the book. You can finish this read in probably 3 days, right? But the way she tells her story about transitioning from becoming a corporate person into being an entrepreneur is funny But you can relate to it because, again, we all are there one way or another. It's a
Right,
process that takes place in you
right,
when you're transitioning from working a company, from working your business.
right,
Okay.
Yeah.
So, one of the areas where that transition just kind of rings true is social media.
right.
And we talk about social media because there's this word that Dion uses a lot. And every time she says it, I just chuckle. It's bringing that sizzle,
Right. Yeah.
that sizzle to your bit.
That's
She
it.
challenged me because I'm always that guy that like to be behind the scene. Even though I'm a very outgoing person, I love to socialize, right? But for some reason, when it comes to anything business, I'd rather just be behind, the camera. Well, Latasha Best said, "Look, Terrence, you gotta stop that, man. You gotta come from behind the
That's
wall,
There you go.
take some hands. You gotta be out there. You gotta be visible. You gotta do videos. You gotta do audio,
Right.
right? So, what do you tell people like me who just used to be and maybe on some level still is intimidated by social media?"
You just trick them and tell them to click this link and show it at 7 o'clock, and then we got you on live stream TV. That's what we do.
it.
That's what we do at Terrace. What you doing on June the 7th at 7 o'clock? Nothing. Okay, click this link. That's what we do. Just get out here. We here. We
Right.
here for the masses. That will be people that will watch the replay. But here's the thing. In full transparency, Latasha and I were on here, and I already said there's this meme going around that my daughter has shared with me. Half of us don't know what we're doing. We're just doing the best that we can in the moment that we're doing it in. Okay.
That's right.
So don't overthink it. Social media, like Latasha said, is that's your brand, right? And we have no business not utilizing a free tool. Okay. Now, if they ask for $500 a month, $1,000 a month for Facebook or whatever, we will have a fit, right?
Right.
It is free. But what's important is what you use it for.
And how
Okay.
you say it. Yep.
And how you say it, how you present yourself. One of the first videos that I had ever done many moons ago is you have to be careful about what you say and do on social media. Why? Because you are representing your brand. It
Absolutely.
has been said to me, well, this is my business page. This is my personal page. I said and did this on my personal page. Well, guess what? It's still you and it's still your business, right? And as I said, some people don't even know my real name because they call me DG because that's what they see on social media. So out here in the entrepreneur world, to a lot of people that don't know me before entrepreneurship, I am DG. So I am representing my brand even when I am out in the community. So when they go to my personal page, they're going to see my representation, right?
Mm-hmm.
They go to my business page, they're going to see my representation and they're going to get the same thing. They might get a little funny on the personal page, but it's legit. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's professional. It's nothing to the left. I am very cautious about what I say, about what I do, about what I allow people to tag me in, what I allow people to share on my page because it represents the brand, right? But we just got to come from behind the curtain and you see these lions behind us, we got to tap into that roar. And you just got to get out here and do the best that you can in the moment that you're in. And nobody going to know whether you know it or not. Just get out here and do it. Like literally, period. That's it.
That's it.
Next time we come on here, I gotta put me a lion.
Yeah.
That's
We're
right.
going to get you, we're going to send you another link. But like, okay, Terrence, what you doing next week?
Right.
Keep inviting you until you get your own show. And then he was like, listen, y'all, I'm out here roaring. Yes.
A link
Well,
in the image. That's what he got.
It's
Well,
contagious.
that's the point, though. That's the point. And I want to conclude with this point.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it by yourself.
Oh,
No.
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 You have friends. You have people that want to see you succeed.
Right.
You have people say, "Hell yeah, come on my platform.
Right.
You do you, I do me. Let's compliment one another. Let's figure out how we can co-brand each other."
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm simply doing. Until I can get into a rhythm and I can feel a little bit more comfortable. This is where I get to be transparent, y'all. I
Right.
am not comfortable
I can we
Okay.
can't tell. We cannot
We
tell.
can't tell.
I am not comfortable, but you know what? I tell myself, do it anyway.
That's right.
Just
Do
be
it
in
anyway.
position and do it anyway.
Because the other thing is, we got your back. I mean, and and so this is a collective effort. So that's the other key thing that you just said is being able to have. I think you always have to have a really good group of professional network people that that can have your back, and you're like, look, this is what I need. Can you get this done? And it
Right.
happens. And I think that's the key in all of it. So I know we're running out of time, but Terrence, you said one thing that I want to make sure that we come back to. One is, who is your business team? And so um, some years ago, someone coined this phrase, a bail. So if you think about a bail bondsman, when you're in trouble, a bail bondsman bail you out. Well, I
Mhm.
want to talk about this business bail team, and bails, BAILS. So the B is for banker, the A is an accountant, the I is an insurance agent, the L is a lawyer, and the S is like a service provider, counselor, business coach. So when you think about what does your business need on your external team, you need a bails team, because this crew will then bail your business out of trouble. So I just want to make sure, when you talked about on the home ownership side of having a team, even on the business side, you need to have that same team to really help your business get to the next level.
And one last question, guys. Why do I need coaching? That's the reason right there.
That's
It's
it.
always good to be in front of new information because technology, the age we living in, things just changes so quickly. It's ever changing,
Right.
right?
Mhm,
So every time you think you know, yeah, you might have known. That's the key word,
mhm,
you known, but do you know
mhm.
what you need to know today? So
Right.
coaching is very relevant. Just if anything else you take from that what makes coaching very important.
While
I
we are sleeping at night, things are changing, right? And there are times and things that coaches are privy to that a lot of people don't know about. So just tonight, Latasha has shared North Carolina Retool 3.0, right? I made it my business last weekend to make sure that we apply, right? Because again, it's a tool, it's a resource to help you grow and scale your business. But here's the thing: when it comes to coaching, you cannot afford to make all the mistakes by yourself, right? So
Ooh,
why not get some information, some tips, tools, strategies, some guidance from those that have done it, that have built the businesses, something similar to what it is that you want to do, someone that you can trust to help you get to where you need to be. But I gotta say this really quick, okay? Because I know we gotta go. I have seen people be too close to individuals that they know. Latasha know where I'm going, okay? That they know because I know you as my friend. You understand?
Mhm.
I know you as my friend and I see you in this one lane, in this one regard, right? But I know you have a business, right? And I know full well you're a coach, but I can't give you the money, right? I can't sow into your business. I would prefer to go get some big name person that is on YouTube or wherever, right? Instagram, because they have 100,000 followers or 200,000 followers and they doing it, blah, blah, but you don't know them. There's no relationship. Okay. I want people to stop chasing the rich Instagram folks that have bought
Ooh,
these
you in
followers.
somebody's closet, girl. You in
Come on,
somebody's
listen, I'm stepping on some toes tonight. Somebody say, ouch.
closet.
Listen,
out.
something you said triggered this. I had no intentions on saying this, right? But we'll pay thousands of dollars to strangers. Okay. There's no relationship. Okay. I have seen it. I have seen some of the most jankiest, for lack of better terms,
Mhm.
coaching, the jankiest presentations, and people have sold thousands of dollars into it because they have X amount of followers, right?
Mhm.
But guess what? People like Latasha, we're not chasing followers. Our goal is to make a difference in the community. We might not have 100,000 followers, but I promise you, we know exactly what it is that we're doing, and we have helped hundreds and
Mhm,
thousands. of people between the two of us grow and scale their businesses. So stop chasing followers, chase the numbers. If you're looking for real numbers, you need to look at what people look doing in them bank accounts. What that bank account look like. I don't care
There
how
you go.
many followers you have, okay? How many cars you sit on and how hard you fold your arms in a picture. That does not make you no professional. And that's I'm done. I'm done.
And
Drop
that's
the mic.
coming.
Drop
And
the
that's,
mic. Did
that's
she just say how you pose on the picture? Okay, drop the mic, Terrence.
Listen,
I just
and that's coming straight from the mouth, Eastern North Carolina. So
Eastern
you
North
don't heard
Carolina,
it.
from the metropolis of Washington, North Carolina. Listen, y'all know, okay? Y'all know.
Well, ladies, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me. Looking forward to our next show. Hopefully,
Yeah.
sometime soon.
there you go.
Okay,
Of
so wasn't
course,
this fun?
you say what now?
Wasn't this fun?
I can't hear you.
I said, wasn't it fun?
Oh, it was. It was very
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So you from behind the curtain. Now you gotta stay up, you gotta stay on the stage.
You got to stay
Well,
on
that's
the
why I
stage.
say just stay in position.
That's right.
Stay in
Stay
position.
stay in position. Stay in
No.
position. Now this has been great. I want to share something really quick. I captured some nuggets here about how you can find us. The
Okay.
institute is where you can go. You will see it on the screen, and you will also see it in the chat. It's where you can go to apply for Retool 3.0. So we don't want to come on here and have conversation. We want to give you some tips, tools, applications, strategies, and resources as well. So you can go there, but just know you must be Hub certified. If you are not Hub certified, there is also a link on there to help you get Hub certified. I've added the Center for Home Ownership and Economic Development. We want to make sure we're closing that wealth gap. And the way to do that is for us to own our own homes, own our own businesses. So there
Mhm.
are resources there concerning home ownership, resources there concerning some of the courses that we are offering. We're looking to do some more financial and entrepreneurship courses in the fall. So make sure you tune into that. Infinity Bridges is where you can find Latasha Best Gaddy. Reach out to her for some of her services and make sure that you have that bail. I put that in the comments as well. And then the other piece of it is I've added the Shopify site for those that need the assessment on entrepreneurship and the workbook. And I also added, lastly, the Roar conference that we are hosting September the 24th at the North Raleigh Hilton. Do not
Yeah.
me there, beat me there. It is designed for women. We are going to unpack, okay? We're going to unpack career development. As Terrence just said, we got to come from behind the curtain. We cannot be the admin for 30 years and think somebody's going to give us a gold watch and we're going to have this best retirement package. The
And
gold
Lord,
watches are gone, okay?
and Lord.
I'm here to tell you, gold watches are gone. And entrepreneurship, what that really looks like, how do you generate the income that you need to generate so you can make a decision as to whether you want to stay on your job or be a dualpreneur, right? We want to go beyond, I got an LLC. We want to help you really make some money. And the bonus piece of this conference is what I call the financial independence, the financial literacy. How do you manage this money in your career as well as in your business? It's going to be fun. We're going to have a great time. It is going to be motivation. It's going to be theory. But what we want you to walk away with more so than anything else is the application. Okay. So when you walk out of there, you're walking out with your packet, right? And it's going to have, these are the things that I can do when I leave the conference today to generate some income. The rah-rah lasts for 24, 48 hours, and then we are subject to go back to our previous thinking. That is not what we're doing. When you leave here, you're going to be ready to roar. If you don't, it's going to be your fault because we're going to give you the information. It's going to be a powerhouse. LBG's going to be there. You don't want to miss it. That's all I'm saying. You need to be in the room, get your tickets. The link to the tickets are on the screen. That's all I have. Terrence, you have been amazing. Okay, so we
I'll
calling you.
tell you one thing. I'm gonna
We
say this
calling you
last
back.
thing. I'm gonna say this last thing.
Yeah.
Give me the number to your hairstylist because I'm coming to that conference. If I got a female with some
Told me
healing,
that.
so you
Just
know,
come with your wife. Just
if
come
you
with your wife.
He told me, he said,
see,
girl,
look,
give
if
me
you
a
see
wig.
a weird looking woman with sexy legs and the beard, it is me. Okay.
he getting a he told me he was getting a wig, Latasha, and he was gonna wear a dress. You know what I'm gonna do?
Well,
I'm gonna get you to work the royal table. Ain't nobody gonna know because listen, and thank you for the plug on the book. Let me say this real quick. I did not tell him to share anything about the book. When he read the book, when he read Finding Your Roar, he was texting me quotes out of the book. I was like, "Oh, you for real?" He said, "I'm dead serious." He said, "I'm so deep in this thing till it ain't even funny." He was texting me quotes about the book. I was like, "Bro, you doing it?" He was like, "Yeah." He said, "This is powerful." But those are the things that we need to know and to do so we can make the exit strategy if that's what you want to do. But you can also be a dualpreneur. But our goal is to help you
there you go.
generate the income that you need to generate, and then you decide whether you stay or whether you go. That's the charge.
Yep, you got options.
Yeah, that's it. We all need options. And guess what? Those that are really successful, they have more than one stream, right? But we don't build all the streams at one time. Okay. That's where you get the burnout at. Build it, generate enough income, then you say bye. Latasha, what you closing out with? I told them how to find you. I put the
You know
website.
what? I'm gonna close out with two things. One, I didn't hear you say it today, but this is one of yours, and then I'm gonna say a quote that I always do. So
Okay.
first and foremost, I want you to always be in your zone of genius. That is
Yeah.
a quote that Dion always used, and I love it. And so the second thing is, which is one of my quotes, is don't suffer in financial silence. Like, don't sit around here and be suffering, and then because you never know who knows somebody that can open a door for you.
Absolutely.
So don't suffer in financial silence.
I love it. I love it. You gonna close us out, Terrence? We good to go. I'm listen. I
I
might need to
know.
go jump on another podcast after this. I love
Look, it's giving some energy. It's giving some
right.
energy.
Right. And there will be, please come back, watch the replay, get the links so you can access these links to get what it is that you need. But this is the onset, the breaking news. We will be back to have more of these talks, to provide more of these tools and resources. We want you to get the funding that you need to scale your business for social media manager, admin, inventory, as Natasha said, whatever it is you need, we are here to help. Okay.
Mhm.
So thank you for tuning in. LBG. Oh, we gotta come up with a nickname for you, too, Terrence. So, Terrence, we thank you for joining as well and sponsoring and hosting us tonight. And you all have a great evening, and we will see you all the next time.
Till next time, my friends.
All
Until
right,
next time.
take care. Bye.